I watch the Everyday Struggle show every day still, even though Joe Budden is not a part of it anymore. But I still watch it. You know, I watched it when Star first came on, and then I watched it when Wayno came on. Which it got better now. It got a lot better. But where's the show, man?
I don't know, man. I heard that it's kind of a wrap. It might be officially over. I know Star's no longer on it. I know Academic's been talking the last week or so about how he's not coming back unless they work out a new contract. That's all I'm hearing, man. I mean, I used to watch it, and then when Joe left, I was kind of like, I checked out. You know what I mean? I don't have time to waste. It kind of like, and I like Star. I used to always watch Star all the time.
Star didn't work for me, man. It didn't work on that show.
It wasn't. It was different because when he came on, he had apologized to Nadeska, and that's not Star, man. Star don't apologize. So it was kind of a weird feeling. You know how like somebody you know is a certain way, but then like they kind of like apologize for some reason about something, and you're kind of like, this doesn't seem right.
And it's funny, you know, it's funny. Even Nadeska had the attitude like you really didn't have to apologize because I think she knows that that's how he is. So he would have been, like you said, he would have been better off being himself.
Yeah, I just think that he wasn't a good fit for the show. It wasn't the same energy level. You know, he's different than Joe. Joe, you know, don't get me wrong. When Everyday Struggle first started, people didn't like Joe either. You know, Joe was the old head. You know, it was a younger person's show technically. Joe was the old head. Joe would be very emotionally unstable, but that's what made the show interesting as it went on.
I hung on my seat. Waiting. You know, it's funny. I would get upset with Joe sometimes when he would flip on that because he was all over the place.
But for me, it was his instability from minute to minute for an hour is what made the show interesting, because depending on his mood when he came into work that day was depending on how he acted. Right, like they would always try to like keep the show on pace, right? So they have their topics, and the desk would move them along. And whenever Joe wanted the show just to keep going, he would, whenever it would get to a topic he didn't want to talk about, he'd be like, "Oh, I don't care about this."
But that was good though.
Which was funny because because he would not want to talk about certain people for certain reasons. You know, he wouldn't address certain things for certain reasons, and he always made it look like, "Oh, I don't care." You know, I just woke up, but as far as where's the show going, acting like it's over, it's done. He'll come back if the money's right. He made it sound like, from what I heard, he made it sound like not only does he want more money to come back, but he kind of wants the situation with Joe Budden resolved to where he comes back, because he wants that show back. Because, you know, that show was going, it wasn't done growing yet.
You know what? I mean, not to cut you off. If Complex was smart, they would bring Joe back. It's had so much time for him being gone to build up to where everyone would go watch that show if Joe came back. And the ratings would go through the roof. That would be the smartest thing, marketing-wise, that Complex ever done in their life. Because I'm talking about the show. You gotta look at Joe Budden's podcast right now. It's getting 300,000 views, right? In 2 days. So, and then think about what that gets. And think about what they already created. So you bring that back now, the show automatically gets 1 million views a day. You know? And talking about ads, then you get to work on your ad dollars. And then, like Joe said before, you know, you can't be greedy. If he didn't know that anything was going on with ad dollars, it was in a contract. When you renewed his contract, you should have worked out something with some ad revenue in there for him.
Mm-hmm. The thing is, they built the show, right? And they got it where it was constantly growing. When you have a show that's based off two people, okay, to keep it going, you kind of have to pay them appropriately.
You sure do.
So the thing was, as the show got better and bigger and was bringing in more money and getting more sponsorship dollars, they should have, when Joe wanted more money, figured something out. And then Ack should have turned around and said, well, you're going to take care of me too. Boom, show keeps going. But they got cheap, right? Oh, Joe wants too much. Joe's asking for too much. Well, no, Complex is bigger than Everyday Struggle. The thing is, they're making money. But the thing was, they're greedy. They didn't want to pay their talent. The problem is, Joe walked away, and he showed them that he was part of it being successful. It was about him. It's about academics. Academics walks away, you have no show.
Show's dead.
Right, and the show was dead. And the thing is, it's Complex's fault. And they kind of robbed the culture of a great show, right? A show that was getting better and better and better, and Complex being so cheap and only caring about money and taking advantage of the culture for themselves, that they deprived the fans of this culture a great show because they're too cheap. Basically, that's what it is. They're just cheap, and they deprived, and that's why people got mad. That's why people got mad at
That's
Complex.
why I got upset.
They got mad at Complex because it showed how they wanted to take advantage of the situation.
Yeah, it's Thursday.
They don't care about the culture. They don't care about the culture. Once Joe left, I watched a couple episodes with Star, and I watched one with Wayno, and I was just like, yeah, this ain't working for me.
It got a little bit interested again when Wayno came on, but it's still not the same. It was tolerable. When Star was on it and he was going back and forth with Ack, Star was so off.
Right.
Then Star had to go and listen to music again, these new guys. Star doesn't listen to these new guys. He would be on the shows after, oh yeah, I listened to this person, Lil Skies. And he would say things to show like he was listening to the music when he really wasn't. He didn't care. He was doing it just for the show. And I'm sitting there like, Star, man, if I was him, I would have just left the show and said, look, this is it for me. I could be making more on radio, and I can relate to people that I want to relate to on radio, and he should have just did that.
Now he's not on the show any longer. He talked about that. When he went there to Complex, he had no idea they were going to give him the show. He went there because he thought they were going to have him on as a guest. And when he went there and sat down with them, they were like, hey, do you want to be a co-host? And he's like, what? And he figured out. Why the hell
would they bring Star?
I think they had no options. But as far as we were saying about with Wayno and this and that and Star, I personally didn't. Wayno was a little more in touch than Star, but but the thing is, what made the show work was that Joe was an artist, right? Joe was a rapper, and he's from a different generation. And then you had Ack, who's younger, who makes a living off of promoting the Lils, the Youngs. He makes money off of promoting those guys and making fun of like, he made fun of drill rap in Chicago, like he makes a living off that. And then that kind of stuff drives Joe crazy. Since you had that two total different views, but Joe was an actual artist, I think those what made it work. Plus Joe was unstable. So it made it work. Whereas Star wasn't an artist. Star, he's like a Howard Stern in a way, right? But he wasn't doing that on the show. He wasn't Star. You know what I mean? And then Wayno's not an artist. Wayno's management. And to me, it just didn't have that same feel. And it just didn't work. It just didn't work for me. That's how I felt about it.
And that's where Ack is getting to, right? The show, at first it was a little cringeworthy, and that kept me coming back, man. It was funny because come on, Joe's smiling, he's joking with you, and it was like that even when the show kept going on, and he's joking with Ack, and then it's like, oh, what are you talking about? What do you mean? You don't know what you're talking about. And then they arguing, Joe, listen, Joe, no, Joe, you're wrong. And he always, and it's funny because Ack always has a point.
Yeah.
Like he's always right about something. But then you get Joe who just doesn't hear anything anyone says and he just goes off. And and most of the time Ack is right because Ack has a point. Ack is one of those people that deals with logic. So Ak always has a point, and they go back and forth, and then at the end of the day, Ak is right, and that makes it all funny, and it makes Joe look even more unstable, and that's what made the show. You know, the funny thing, see if they did bring the show back right now, I think it will lose some of its edge because Ak and Joe is so close now.
I don't know. Like I said, I gave up on it once Joe left, and if Joe was to come back, maybe I'll check it out. But you know, like you said, I'm not holding out hope for it. I don't care. I really don't care. I don't care. I think that's something like it was cool when it lasted. It ended too soon.
No, it's going now on to the next thing.
Yeah, and I don't really care. Like I don't care if it comes back. If it comes back, I'll check it. But
if it doesn't, it's okay.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.